Okay, I am live with Mark Bacon, and we are going to talk about his book, Death in Nostalgia City.
Good afternoon.
All right, excellent. And anyone that joins us in the crowd, if you have questions for our indie author, please type them on in and I will get them asked. First, I'm going to show you his book. I'm going to pick one up. And here it is, Death in Nostalgia City. This is available from online fine retail outlets, and if you are in Las Vegas, it is available at Books or Books Used Bookstore on Sunset and Pecos. The author will be live from 1 to 3 p.m. Come on down if you're in the Vegas area. Okay, we're going to get to 5 questions. Like I said, if anyone has a question, go ahead and shout it out. I'm not seeing the comments on my screen. Where did that go? Okay. All right. Well, I will ask one that I got from the internet, and the first one is, how do you find time to write?
I get up in the morning and it's 6 o'clock. I turn on the light, turn on my computer, sit down and work until I'm done for the day. One of my favorite quotes about writing and finding time to write comes from a writer by the name of Peter DeVries, who said, "I only write when I'm inspired, and I make sure that I'm inspired at 9 o'clock every morning."
Nice. I like that. So tell me a little bit more about your writing routine. About how many hours a day do you work?
It depends. I work at least 4 hours a day unless something comes up. I like to work a little bit longer than that. I'm much better in the morning than I'm in the afternoon. The earlier the better. When the house is quiet and the sun is just coming up is when I can really just keep the words going. I start writing by reading and editing what I wrote the day before. Every single day, it's sort of the process, the way I work. And if I'm inspired, if I really like what I wrote the day before, that gives me even more impetus. But most of the time I'm not, and so I go back and edit what I did until I like it, and then continue from there. I'm doing about a chapter a day right now, which is moving right along. My chapters are all short. Death in Nostalgia City has 74 chapters. Yeah, 74 chapters, and it's 314 pages. So if you do the math, which I can't do, you can find out that the chapters are very short, like 1,000, 1,500 words. And that's about what I do a day.
Excellent. Well, we do have one question from the internet. It's a random one, and is, what is your favorite flower?
Gerber daisies.
Gerber daisies. Hope that answered your question. Hope you're still with us. And we do have another question. What are some of your influences? Favorite authors that influence your writing?
That's a real good question. Unlike a lot of mystery readers, I don't necessarily pick one author and then read every single book that person's written, start to finish, and then move on to somebody else. My wife does that a lot. She's read every book by J.A. Jance, for example, who's a great writer. I jump around a bit. And there's specific types of mysteries that I like, specific types that I don't like. And I tried to write Death in Nostalgia City to be the kind of book that I like to read. I like a mystery that has a lot of clues, a lot of suspects, and you really have to work on it. You use your head for it. But I also like ones that move very fast, and not are just everybody sitting around a drawing room. So I like action. I like things happening to the main characters, and you don't know what's going to happen to them next, so you get attached to them, and you really have an emotional connection to them in addition to trying to figure out what's going to happen. So you've got something that appeals to your head and appeals to your heart. And I could rattle off maybe 40 different mystery writers that have done that, not every time, but done that a lot. Joseph Finder's one of my favorites. I'm a big fan of some of the mystery writers from the golden era of mysteries back in the 40s and early 50s. One of my favorites is Cornell Woolrich, who probably nobody has heard of, and his books are very hard to find. He wrote The Rear Window, among a whole bunch of other fantastic mysteries.
Excellent. I've got another question here. What inspired you to start writing mysteries?
That's easy. I've always read mysteries and I always wanted to write mysteries. I've written a lot of books before this, were business books, and were books mainly that I was doing, 24/7 to make money, and they did pretty well. But I always wanted to get into fiction. I found that fiction is much more difficult to write than nonfiction. So that reading some good mysteries is what inspired me to write my mysteries.
Excellent. We have another question here, and the viewer would like to know, what's your favorite place in Vegas?
My favorite place in Vegas is where I used to live, and I'm not going to tell you where that is. I lived out in the Northwest.
Got it.
That's probably not what you want to know. You want to know my favorite restaurant or something. How about Hash House A Go Go?
There we go.
Or the Egg and I.
How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got some good questions in, and now we're going to ask him to give us the 30-second elevator pitch for the book. Tell us about your book, and go.
The story is about Lyle Deming, who is a ex-police officer, but he would rather do anything but police work because he is overcome with anxiety. He identified too much with the victims of crimes that he investigated. So he switched jobs, and he went to work driving a cab in a theme park, thinking this would be a perfect way to relax. But it's not any theme park. It is Nostalgia City, which is the world's most elaborate theme park. It's a recreation of an entire small town as it might have appeared in the early 1970s. And it is complete with everything from the period: cars, clothes, food, music, shops, restaurants, the works. It's like walking down the street and it's 1972. But because this is a murder mystery, bad things happen. Some rides are sabotaged and tourists are killed and injured, and Lyle is drafted to investigate what's going on. Helping him is Kate Sorensen, who is the park's PR director, who was drafted out of Las Vegas. She did PR for a Las Vegas hotel, moved to Nostalgia City, which is in Arizona, and started working there. And she and Lyle are both asked to do their work undercover, incognito as much as possible, so not to arouse suspicions and worry the tourists. The problem for Kate doing that is that she's a former college basketball player. She's 6 feet 2.5 inches tall, blonde hair, and gorgeous. So much for incognito. And together what they do is uncover a conspiracy of murder, sabotage, and corporate greed.
Excellent. Well, it's great to hear about your book, and it's good to meet and talk with Mark Bacon.
Thanks for having me.
Live at Books or Books. Come on down and see it.
3460 East Sunset.
Excellent.